Hello, everybody. This is Tetrafolium for the first battle preparations of the league. I'm going to do something a little different this time just to see if I like it. I can't guarantee that I will do this every time. Um, I'm going to try to build my team live instead of build it and then uh, show you my results afterwards. The point of doing this is hopefully that if some of you are watching this and you're struggling to think of how to build a draft team, maybe you'll be able to watch this and get an idea, or maybe you'll think it's entertaining, like the methods that I use to try to build my teams. I don't know. Um, uh, I'm also trying something new this time. There's this prep doc, Techno's prep doc that you can pretty easily like stick your teams into this sheet here. All you have to do is type in the name of the Pokemon that you have, and you can mark Terra Captains with this T here. Um, Really good for showing quick information to other people. If you wanted to get them to help you with your league, you just have to like screenshot this and share it to them. Or if you're going to use it to prep yourself, it gives you all the Pokemon and all their speed tiers here. Um, why the speed tiers and not other stats? Well, that's because speed is one of the most important stats to figure out when you're building your team. Like for example, I want to make sure that I probably want to make sure that my Roaring Moon is faster than like Zoroark or Gudra or whatever else on his team. Um, so uh, I should keep that in mind. But I know my Roaring Moon probably won't outspeed his Talonflame if he's opting to run max speed. So maybe that's a Pokemon that I can ignore for the purposes of choosing my speed stat. In any case, it'll probably make more sense as I go through this. The main thing that I'm going to focus on here, um, and the main thing that I always focus on when I build my draft teams, is finding ways to counter my opponent's top Pokemon. So uh, you'll see on that window on the left, probably the most important Pokemon in uh, my opponent's arsenal is Ursaluna Blood Moon. It's probably the strongest. It's definitely the hardest hitting, or maybe Slitherwing with boosts, but Ursaluna could definitely get scary and beat me if it gets a bunch of Calm Mind boosts or if it gets a proper avenue to set up. So one thing that I was thinking is bringing Hydrapple, of course with my Regenerator ability. Um, I don't know exactly these calcs off the top of my head, but that's what I'm going to use the damage calculator here for. Um, let's start with just a standard Assault Vest type set. Um, Not much here. I don't know if I'm going to keep all of these moves per se. I'll have to look through the coverage that I get and see if this is what I want. If you're ever like stuck on your EV spread, you can just click this one here, but I hope I'm going to show you ways to think more smartly about how you do your spreads. Um, just put the rest in special attack. I usually like to do odd numbers on Pokemon for their HP because percentage-based damage, like hazards, um, rounds down. So let's say if I switch Hydrapple in 8 times versus hazards, that means that he will survive with 1 HP. Now, granted, it's kind of a moot point with Hydrapple because of Regenerator, but it's still just a habit of mine. You don't have to necessarily do it, especially not on a Pokemon like Hydrapple. It would make a lot more sense for a Pokemon like Volcarona, uh, who's times 4 weeks to rocks. Um, so, like, you don't want to, if you're ever doing a bulky Volcarona set, you almost never want to do this. You always want to do this. Um, There are other HPs that are probably acceptable as well, but if you're doing max HP, this is better than this, because if you don't have your boots anymore, um, you don't want to. You want to take the least amount of damage from rocks, or rather, you want to be able to switch in as many times as possible. Yeah, but I guess boots kind of make that a lost art. Whatever. I'm an old head. Um, yeah, so let's go to import and copy this set here. I'm gonna go into Showdown or the calculator, and I'm gonna paste that information here and import. So that's gonna import one of my sets successfully. So here's wow, this is my old team from back in the first one. These were all the nicknames, I guess, of my Pokemon that I brought to finals. So there you go. Some information was kept. um, but we're gonna check Hydrapple versus Ursaluna. Blood Moon. I'm really bad at typing, as you can see. Um, as for what your opponent's gonna do with their set, you can't know that for sure, but I try to plan against worst case scenarios. So let's just assume that my opponent's gonna run max special attack modest. Blood Moon's gonna do 47 or 40.7 maximum against my Hydrapple. Ursaluna Blood Moon gets Moonblast. How do I know that? Well, I just know that. You can't, if you're not knowing what your opponent's Pokemon can do, you can always put them in the builder yourself. Look at their ability. Note that this thing can hit ghost types and won't have its accuracy lowered. If you're wondering what moves it might get, I know ice moves would be pretty bad against my Hydrapple. I see it gets Avalanche and Ice Punch, so maybe I will think about those moves, but I do know that it gets Moonblast, and that's likely to be used on this set. Moonblast does less than Blood Moon, but you can use it every turn, so this is an important role to look at. It's got a decent chance to 3-hit KO, but 3-hit KO is not that good for him. Especially look at my Giga Drain. Guaranteed 2-hit KO after leftovers. It's going to be really good. One thing that I am kind of worried about with this Ursaluna, if you look at his team, he's got Hatterene and Reuniclus as possible Trick Room setters. So Hatterene, Trick Room, oh not Trick Room, and then I believe Reuniclus also gets it. Yes, that's true. You see those two both get Trick Room. I'm potentially concerned about that, so he could be running absolutely minimum speed. So that would be plus quiet, plus a special attack, minus speed. I think I want to make sure that I'm slower than Ursaluna. Like looking at this calc here, I can take moves pretty comfortably, and like with how much I heal with Giga Drain against this guy, I'm almost going to heal back all the damage I take from either this move or this move, unless I get like a special attack drop from, sorry, that was, yeah, from Moonblast. But even still, I'm threatening a 2-hit KO. I will recover most of the stuff back, so this should be fine in theory. I think I'm going to try to make myself slower so that if we run into Trick Room problems, that I will not lose. So I'm going to make myself 1 point slower than the minimum speed Blood Moon, just because I don't think I need to be any slower than that. If you look at the rest of his team, you could look at like Reuniclus, for example. Say this one, and go with, I don't know, Brave. He wouldn't run that nature specifically, but it is minus speed. it's going to be really difficult for me to, like, I'm not going to be able to underspeed that because his base speed is way lower than mine. It's possible he could run just a bit of speed to speed creep something on my team, but if we look back at my speed tiers, sorry for the flashbang, like the only Pokemon he might want to actually outrun is Knacklestack, and like a no investment Knacklestack, and I just don't think that that's something that we really care about. In any case, four speed IVs is exactly what we need to underspeed min speed Ursaluna, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just in case we end up in Trick Room, and if we don't end up in a Trick Room game, then it won't matter because Hydrapple lives those hits really well. Another thing that I am concerned about is Ursaluna Blood Moon getting its Calm Mind boost, so going to like +1, +1. This could be pretty bad for me because now Blood Moon is threatening 2-hit KOs here. Now I'm threatening a 2-hit KO as well on +1/+1. So, and not guaranteed to get 2-hit KO'd. In fact, with my Giga Drain recovery, I will never be 2-hit KO'd. So this isn't bad, but like if he gets crazy boosts, I think I want something to stop that. And of course I have to unclick my imported sets. I think Clefable is a decent option here. Now, if we see +1 with no special defense investment is absolutely destroyed, but I mean, for one, we can put special defense investment in. So be plus special defense minus attack. I think that's careful. No, not careful. Calm, maybe? Yeah, there you go. Let's give it the ability Unaware. Still takes 50 from Blood Moon's Blood Moon attack, which is really not nice. But one thing that is kind of good about Blood Moon is it only attacks every other turn. So if I have Moonlight, I can still recover. Moonblast still does a decent amount, so that's good. Maybe I want Calm Mind because it's not going to ignore my stat boosts. So see, I'm doing more damage and taking less damage. That's pretty good. A last move, I'm not sure what would be a great last move for Clefable in this case. Leftovers is fine. We can always change the items later, but let's do Moonblast, Calm Mind, Moonlight. Oh, that's Moonblast again. I'm a professional at this, guys. And yeah, we can always hold off on the last move. So we're 252 HP. I think I'll just bring it down 1 point just for the hell of it. Max special defense. We don't need our attack stat at all. And then, do I want speed? There's 8 points left. What should I do with them? I noticed that Empoleon on his team has the exact same speed stat as my Clefable. So if he runs uninvested, we're going to speed tie. So I think I'm going to put the 8 points in speed. This guarantees that I will outspeed an uninvested Empoleon. If he's going to invest in speed, then I can't catch him without investing in speed myself. But I have a feeling that he's going to be a defensive or a utility type Empoleon that is not going to run speed. We can even check. Does Empoleon run speed here? In the defensive set, no, it's actually a minus speed nature, which I think makes sense. You don't really need your speed, and you want Flip Turn and Surf to do as much damage as possible. But like an offensive pivot, yeah, if he's offensive, then he is going to run speed, but nothing I can really do about that. This against me, he'll probably run Flash Cannon, so you should probably check that damage. It's a pretty good amount of damage. that life orb competitive guy. So maybe my Clefable might not be the best against a this set. If he's not running life orb though, um, he's doing significantly less, and I can try to calm mind in his face. I realize I have boost, so well maybe I can beat him if I'm boosted. Maybe. Thunderbolt do a lot to this. Does okay. If I get +1 special attack, I'm guaranteed to at KO, right? Yep. So tentatively, I'm gonna put Thunderbolt as my last move. That might not be what I stick with. I know that Venusaur, for example, is gonna wall this. If I do that, I could try Psychic instead, but then Empoleon's gonna wall it. I don't really have a move that hits both of them, but that's fine. You don't need you don't need your Pokemon to be able to handle every one of your opponent's Pokemon. Just have them handle as many as you can, and try to specialize your Pokemon. Like, if I have something that switches in very easily to Venusaur and beats it 1v1 and like it's always going to be free, I don't need to make sure that my Clefable can beat Venusaur necessarily. I can just ride on my one dedicated Venusaur counter, or maybe I'll have two. I don't know. Um, in any case, is there any Pokemon on this team that is possibly going to give me trouble? Slitherwing is one for sure. And I'll probably want something for that. I mean, Clefable is pretty good. It's naturally resistant to all of Slitherwing Stab, so even if you go like Choice Band, we're doing pretty well. I mean, I guess close combat is kind of an issue. Maybe I should tailor my Clefable less towards Ursaluna Blood Moon, so that it's a little bit more. It has a little bit more utility here. So let's try to get ourselves so that we're guaranteed living 2-hit KO range from Hyper Voice. So it's 80. So Earth Power Hyper Voice, I'm guaranteed not 2-hit KO'd by that. And my leftovers will help me. I guess technically I could go less, because after my leftovers recovery, I won't be 2-hit KO'd, but I think I want to be such that I'm taking less than 50, so that I don't end up on the bad end of this. So let's actually do this. Defense will go 172. We'll keep the 8 points in speed because I want to speed creep the Empoleon. So we're 172. Bold. I hope you're following so far. Yeah, we always never like be too in love with your sets, like that you can't, or married to your sets that you can't change them. See, this is a lot better, this defensive investment, because now I'm not 2-hit KO'd by Earthquake with my leftovers recovery. I take less than 50 from close combat. I take basically nothing from these two moves, considering that I have Moonlight to heal more than that off. And I don't really need any special attack investment because I'm threatening an Oko here. If I get Rocks up, this is actually, I believe, a guaranteed one-hit KO. So that's good. This is probably a solid Clefable set. I might tweak it, but I probably don't need to. I could check it against Goodra. It's another Pokemon that I might want Clefable to handle. So guaranteed 3-hit KO there. That's not bad. If I get poisoned, that could be bad. Could really sway it. But I 2-hit KO back. Oh, that's if I'm +1. Okay, so I need to keep that in mind. My Slitherwing. Slitherwing's not going to die necessarily to one Moonblast from my no investment, but it will probably die to +1. That's not fantastic. It's a very low chance to 2-hit KO. That being said, I think I can find switch-ins for Goodra, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's look at the Assault Vest set. This is a weird amount. Yeah, the Assault Vest set does pretty well against me. Sludge Bomb. Yeah, so I'll need to keep that in mind. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything to beat Assault Vest 1v1. So we'll just keep those. Yeah, just keep those in mind. Wow, this is getting long. Team building is a long process, guys. Something that punishes Reuniclus and Hatterene would be good. I don't really have a ghost type Pokemon. Like, we check our doc here. I don't really have a ghost type to do much to them. Though Jirachi is pretty good because it resists both of them, both of their stabs multiple times over. I don't know if I want to use the Iron Head set, but against this team, look at my Jirachi's speed. It's a base 100 versus his. He doesn't, like, other than Zoroark and Talonflame, he doesn't have a Pokemon that is faster than Jirachi. So Iron Head could be good. Let's take a look at this. Because if I'm faster, I'm gonna get my flinches off potentially. And this is what, plus attack? Yep. So let's check it against Slitherwing. Probably not gonna be defensive Slitherwing, I wouldn't guess. Yeah, pretty solid. I definitely don't need Choice Scarf. I could run like Metal Coat. Where is it? For extra Iron Head damage. That could be good. Could I run Adamant and outspeed this? Adamant. So I hit 299 and you hit 2. Let's make you Jolly. 287. So I totally could just run Adamant. Maybe that's what I'll do. 252 plus. Probably not going to use my special attack in this case. 252 speed for now. I might not need all this speed. There's, like, if I'm just trying to outspeed the max speed Slitherwing, like with unboosted, I only need to hit 288. So let's do that. And that gives me quite a few extra EVs to play with, so I could put some in my defenses to take less damage. So, like, I don't know, maybe if I do 48. That reduced the damage of First Impression by a couple points. I don't know if I necessarily want to do this because Earthquake is pretty tough. But let's check against, like, Goodra, for example. See that Assault Vest Goodra. We lived that pretty decent, and then yeah, we're doing a good amount of damage. Metal Coat might not be the best item, but we'll see. See Hatterene. Do we Oko this? No, we don't. So that's good to know. See Empoleon. Probably struggle against that. Yeah. So maybe we need another move. Drain Punch, I saw, was an option. And that does a pretty decent amount. Could try that. We'll see if we have other fighting moves. Drain Punch is our only physical one. So try that. U-turn's a good move. Wish is also a good move. I can also do Substitute. If I do Substitute though, I think I would want Leftovers, and I'm just probably not gonna do that. I don't have my a Stealth Rocker yet. I could do Stealth Rocks. Could do Wish. Could do Thunder Wave to really hammer home my Iron Head stuff. But I think right now we'll just hold off. We'll pick a move later. So I noticed that a lot of my rolls were not quite 2-hit KOs or not quite 1-hit KOs. So I think I want hazards. So I have a couple options on my team for hazards. I think Whiscash is the only Pokemon on my team that gets spikes. Flashbang back onto this one. So I think this has moves. So hazard setting, it'll tell you what moves your guys get. I have lots of Pokemon that get Stealth Rocks, huh? Yeah, but Whiscash is my only spiker. Got decent status moves, decent priority moves. Yeah, good stuff there. But yeah, Whiscash my only spiker, so I think I probably will bring Whiscash, which is awesome. I love Whiscash. I think Whiscash, other than Venusaur, he doesn't have anything that like is threatening to mangle Whiscash. Maybe Ursaluna. I don't know. I have to look at the calc. But we do. Let's see. Ursaluna, do you have more attack, or I mean defense or special defense? You have more defense, but not by much, right? It's only, oh no, by actually quite a bit. So maybe I want to use a special set. I don't get Scald, so that's kind of not nice, but I could do Surf. I could do Pump. Probably do Surf. In that case, I could do Earth Power. Earth Power hits Clodsire, but Clodsire's kind of like specially bulky. I don't think will actually do much. I could do Mixed with Earthquake. Let's take a look at that. So we're doing Earthquake and Surf against. So Surf with no investment is already threatening a 2-hit KO on Ursaluna, and we're faster. Unless he's invested in speed. Let's see. How much speed do we need to beat that? I'm guessing quite a bit. 203? 192 speed to outspeed max speed Ursaluna. Okay. Well, not. I guess if he was not modest, he'd be even faster. But I don't think I want to run enough speed to do that, so I just pretend like he can't be faster. Blood Moon rips me apart, so I definitely need HP investment or special defense investment. So that's good. What about Clodsire? Earthquake is threatening a 2-hit KO if I don't do minus attack. So it's not bad. I have to decide what I want to do with my bulk. Clearly I want to be invested in my HP. So let's look at Blood Moon. Just because it's a special attacker. And that will be what I'm going to tailor my EVs for. 80 is pretty good amount. Let's do... clearly I think investing in special defense is going to be more worth my time. So we have 92, 192, which is a pretty decent speed stat. I think that's going to outspeed Gudra if it's not invested either. So that's good. So you have 316 to play around with. We do 252 here and then 64 here. So let's see if this is the most optimal. Now, what you can do here is I can steal a point from HP or my special defense and give it to HP, and then check to see what the damage roll is. And that's how you optimize your defenses. So, sorry, I forgot what the roll here was. So 67.1, so I'm just gonna have to remember that. So 67.4, he's actually doing more damage to me. 67.2, did a little less from that roll. 0.3, 0.1. So that's 80 is my new benchmark. And let's see. Don't ask me why this works the way that it does, because I just don't know what the math behind it. It seems like we're getting further and further away from where we need to go. So I'm going to assume that 80 was the best roll for us. So that's going to be 80 and 263. Let's see, 263. So that was a 67.1 roll, which is the min roll that we could get. I'm fairly happy with that. Yeah, no complaints really. For an item, I don't know what I would run. I've been running Expert Belt on this guy just so I can get like that extra damage on Pokemon that are weak to water and whatever. What is a Babo? I have no idea what that is. So that's with Expert Belt, we're doing a pretty sizable chunk. I like that a lot, actually. Just any other... Are there any other items that would even be worth considering? I don't know. For the time being, I'll just do Expert Belt. As for what ability, Whiscatcher's abilities are not great. I think I like Oblivious the best. He doesn't have an Intimidate Pokemon, I don't believe, but I don't want to get taunted by something like Talonflame. That's probably a Pokemon I should look at the calcs for. Against a defensive Talonflame, well, we eat it up. Yeah. Against an offensive Talonflame, I don't care, because if it's offensive, I'm gonna goob it. Zoroark is his Terra Captain for Dark, Poison, and Fire coverage. I don't really have much of a fire weakness if you look at my team. Like, Galvantula's weak to it, but eh. He does have hazards with Clods. I believe, and Empoleon is a rocker. We can even use this to show. Yeah, Clods is basically his best guy for that. So let's we probably do want to run removal. Terapagos is my remover. I'm gonna do Terastal because that's gonna be more indicative of its uh, stat line because it's going to transform immediately. So let's do heavy duty boots. Just probably that's the play. And we're going to want rapid spin. I always like to put rapid spin at the bottom. I don't know why, just do. So we could do a physical set. I haven't really looked that deeply at Terapagos's move pool. It looks really good. Looks like it gets a lot of great moves. Flare Blitz, it's interesting. Um, Earthquake seems pretty good against his team, but Clodsire's weak to it, and Polion's weak to it. Though maybe I want to do special because Terra Starstorm is pretty good. He doesn't have a ghost type, and his only resist is Empoleon. So maybe we'll do that. Earth Power is an option. Could do that. We'll put it there tentatively. Scorching Sands might even be better. For the chance to burn. Be good against Slitherwing. Like if I catch a Slitherwing switch in and burn it, that would be pretty good. Actually, I think I'll do that. So we'll do that, and then lastly I can put Ice Beam could be decent against Gudra. Could we get Recover as an option? No, we don't. That would be really crazy if you had a recovery move with this Terra Shell. We could do Weather Ball. I mean, I don't really see a Sunsetter on this team unless he's gonna run what's it called? Manual Sun, so maybe let's not worry about that. Toxic, that's a really good one to keep in mind. Not very many Pokemon get Toxic, and Toxic could be really good against Blood Moon. Granted, it's not going to be good against Reuniclus if it's Magic Guard. It's not going to be good. It's really going to not be good against Hatterene. It doesn't affect Clodsire. Doesn't affect Empoleon, so maybe it's just not great in this particular matchup. Bug Buzz is weird coverage. Do I want something to hit like Reuniclus, for example? Let's take a look. Terapagos, Terastal. Let's just import this set so far so that I don't have to do too much. There, import. That give me Terapagos versus, say, Reuniclus. Reuniclus tends to run Focus Blast, so that's something to keep in mind. Now this is with my Terra Shell ability. Yeah, so there's a huge, it was a huge damage reduction. Do you see that? It was like, it goes from 58 to 14. It's pretty interesting. So I need to watch out for that guy. I don't think Dark Pulse is going to do much. Like if I invest in my special attack, I'm going to go Modest maybe. If I can find Modest. There we go. We've chanced to hit KO. It's not bad. And his team isn't like super specially bulky, except for maybe Empoleon and Reuniclus and Gudra. So actually it's pretty especially defensively bulky. Do an okay amount of damage with Scorching Sands, and we don't take that much back even without the ability. Let's maybe do Ice Beam? Does Ice Beam do more to Blood Moon? Or Venusaur? Yes, it does slightly more, so it's not like it really matters. Just very slightly more. Might not be the best option. Doesn't really have a, like, other than Empoleon, which I'm already hitting, doesn't really have much of a resist. I will think about it. So 252 special attack is with max is looking pretty decent. Do I need enough speed to outspeed anything? I think I'd like to outspeed that offensive Empoleon set. So this one that's running base or just enough for 200. So yeah, I already outspeed that without any investment. What about Gudra? Is there any? Is it running? It's running max speed. I don't think I'm gonna be able to outspeed that. So let's just not even bother. I think I definitely want to outspeed max speed Blood Moon. Let's just say he's timid. Whatever plus speed hasty, sure. That is 223, so it will be 224. 72 speed. I think that's not much investment. I think I can afford that, and then the rest I can just put in HP just to do it. Now, if I'm bringing Terapagos, this is probably a good time for Wish on Jirachi. I was doing a lot of calcs with Metal Coat. Is that what I want to do? Metal Coat? Sure, we'll try it. Do we get a boosting move for attack like Bulk Up? Nope. Meteor Mash could be interesting. So yeah, not really. We don't really get much. So this is pretty solid right now. I've got a lot of good defensive switch-ins and I'm dealing good damage. It would be nice to just have a guy who can throw off super strong hits. So maybe Terrakion or maybe Roaring Moon. Who has a better matchup? Well, Roaring Moon is forced out by Slitherwing because of First Impression. Roaring Moon doesn't necessarily love Hatterene. Terrakion doesn't want to throw off moves into Talonflame unless it's Stone Edge. So that's not great. It does do better against Slitherwing. Let's look at some sets. Of course, I got to take off my imported. Terrakion. Let's say Choice Scarf set versus Slitherwing. I like Banded as the one because I want to see how much damage I take. Oh my lord. Versus how much I deal back. I don't think something like Zen Headbutt is going to help me much. And I also don't think that you get Aerial Ace, do you? Terrakion, Aerial Ace. Oh, you do. So Aerial Ace might be the move. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. This is pretty good. I have good switch-ins for Talonflame, I think. Like, Whiscash takes its hits decently well. Clefable's not bad either. So I don't know if I necessarily have to run Scarf to outspeed that. I probably will run Jolly just because I don't want to get outsped by Zoroark. But yeah, maybe we want a Choice Band. Could be good. So our Rock type options are Rock Blast, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Smackdown. Smackdown, 100% accuracy. It's not bad. Probably want Stone Edge though. Let's see. How do you do against Hatterene? Sure. Hatterene's definitely uses its investment in defense a lot of the time. So let's do Choice Band. There you are. Stone Edge is doing a pretty good amount. Not enough that I'm super comfortable with it, but like to 2-hit KO. But I do like that. I don't need high horsepower because he doesn't have grassy terrain, so Earthquake. You could do Sacred Sword if you don't want to get stat drops, but I don't care. I'm a skirmisher type. I just want to get my hit and keep it moving. So do I want to outspeed Zoroark? Zoroark is gonna hit a pretty good amount. So 252, timid, 339. So I definitely need the plus speed. But I don't need full investment. I can do just 228 max attack. The remaining 8, I don't know, throw it into HP, I guess. So let's check Blood Moon. One more time. I know it sometimes runs Vacuum Wave. So Vacuum Wave is doing about a third. And I have 28. Doesn't really change much. If I do 28 here instead. 32.8 versus 33.3. I guess I'll just throw it all in special defense. I could try to optimize it, but it's so few points. It's not really that much worth it to me. And that seems like a team. I'm abiding by the item clause. And I think I've got options to win with all my guys. I don't hate it. If I end up deciding I want to switch things, I'll let you guys know when the battle starts. I'm probably not gonna do a live battle. I'll just do the battle and then record over it with audio. This went kind of long, so I don't know if I'll do this again. But I don't know if you're watching this and you got this far and you thought that this team building process was interesting, let me know, and maybe I'll do it again. Yeah, Sirius is funny on Whiscash. You usually do want to run a nature, but let's go with Quirky. Just because I don't want to lower any of my defenses and I don't want to lower any of my offenses. So yeah, every now and then you'll see something like this. If I am gonna change anything, it might be this Jirachi set or the EVs on my Whiscash. But yeah, other than that, I think this is pretty solid, and I think this is gonna work. So yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys for the battle. All right, now we're into the battle, or the battle replay, because I'm not doing that battle live recorded. There were a couple changes I did make to the team from the team builder. For one, I basically got rid of all of my Whiscash's speed and put it into special defense. I'm running 4 speed IVs and quiet because that happens to outspeed a uninvested Ursaluna. Now that doesn't really matter because look at this team. There's no Ursaluna on it. I don't know why he didn't bring Ursaluna. It's one of his best Pokemon. You would think that unless it matched up really terribly bad, that you would bring it. But I don't think it does match up terribly bad. In fact, it's a decent win con. Um, I believe I had Wish on my Jirachi, and I switched it out for Zen Headbutt because I thought to myself, I don't really have a great move to hit Venusaur, and with Venusaur getting Earth Power, it could hit my team pretty hard. You know, Earth Power and Sludge Bomb if he happens to be running that dual coverage. And did I change anything else? Oh yeah, I put Flamethrower on Terrapagos instead of Ice Beam. Why? Well, I noticed that he has Slitherwing and Venusaur on his team, and while he does not have a Drought Pokemon, I could see possibly he runs Sunny Day on something. So I thought to myself, well, if Ice Beam's doing basically the same damage roll as Terra Starstorm, even against the resisted, or I'm sorry, the super effective Pokemon like Clodsire, I might as well run Flamethrower, which also does about the same, but if he sets up the sun, at least it'll be boosted. Probably, I don't think I end up clicking it anyway, so it's not really a big deal, but let's just get right into this. So, the Pokemon that I'm probably the most scared of on this team, if I'm being honest, is Talonflame, because it can run a couple different sets, and it's faster than everything on my team. So I'm basically going to make a play to try to eliminate it turn 1 by going Terrakion. I looked at all the calcs. Even if he burns me, Stone Edge would kill. Even if he uses Flare Blitz, or sorry, Brave Bird or Air Slash, I live it, and as long as I don't get flinched. And there's also the possibility that he might think I'm Choice Scarf and switch out. So, like if he's Flame Body on his Talonflame, as they tend to run now. So I'm going to go with Terrakion first play. He is going to go for his Slitherwing, and I thought, okay, well, I have Aerial Ace. Let's just do this. And he dies right away. I don't know what he was going to do. Maybe he didn't think that I had like a great move to hit him, and then he was just going to get a free kill with CC. If that's the case, fair. I think if I were him, I probably would have scouted. I feel like Clodsire is a fairly good switch-in when you have a ground immune Talonflame and Slitherwing is resistant to ground. It would be really hard for me to justify clicking Earthquake there. And if he did go to Clodsire to scout it, he would have known that, oh, I'm Aerial Ace, and he would have been able to calc to see that I'm banded and that his Clodsire could go ahead and do something like set up spikes or whatever it's got. But in that case, he's going to go to Talonflame, and I'm not going to go for my Choice Band Aerial Ace into this. I don't want to take that damage. I don't want to risk getting burned, so I'm just going to go straight to my now especially defensive Whiscash and take a Flare Blitz for no damage. And I'm thinking this is a great opportunity for me to go ahead and set up spikes. He goes hard to Venusaur, and I'm getting out of there. I go to Hydrapple. I'm not really afraid of a Sludge Bomb there, and if he does have Sludge Bomb, I think I'd rather know now, so I know to play around it with my Jirachi. Instead, he goes for Earth Power. I don't know exactly what Earth Power is for. Maybe he was predicting my Jirachi to switch in. And that, I guess, makes sense. And it, I don't know. It probably wouldn't have done a lot of damage to Whiscash, but the worst I could do is set up more spikes on him that he could just get rid of with his Talonflame. So, not a bad play necessarily. Um, he's going to switch hard to Gudra. I'm going to go straight to Jirachi because I'm thinking he might have Sludge Bomb there, and I don't want to take it. If I went for Fickle Beam, oh my goodness, that would have been really, really good. But no, I go to Jirachi, and I'm thinking to myself, I have a pretty good matchup here. Even if he goes for like Earthquake or Fire Blast, I'll live it, and I can get damage on Gudra. So that's what I go for, and he goes for Ice Beam. I don't know, or rather, I go for U-turn there, not going for like Iron Head or anything. He goes Ice Beam is interesting. Maybe he thought I would switch hard back to Hydrapple. It seems like he's making a lot of predictions, and like, of course you have to predict your opponent to make good plays. However, like, why would I go back to Hydrapple there? Like, my Fickle Beam is threatening to damage you, but like, you're also a Dragon type, and I'm not gonna switch in hard and risk taking like a Draco Meteor or something. I'm probably gonna go to a Pokemon that is a little bit more safe, a little bit more consistent, like my Clefable, if I'm gonna hard switch. So, yeah, I don't necessarily love the Ice Beam play. And like into Jirachi, it was not great. But I noticed that his Gudra is faster, so I have 288 speed on my Jirachi, and the max speed that Gudra can hit is 284. So this confirms that this Gudra is actually Scarf. I'm guessing that that's for Roaring Moon. Not a bad tech. Now, granted, if I'm booster speed Roaring Moon, you're not going to outspeed me, but maybe, I don't know, you have some way to force me to switch out, like an unaware Clods that has some way to not die to Earthquake. Maybe that's, I don't know. I guess you're giving yourself an out. Maybe if I was going to run Choice Band Roaring Moon, that would help you out. Can't hate that tech, though it's probably not going to work out for him that well. He's going to go straight to Empoleon here, and on this turn, I did think about clicking Thunderbolt to hit into the Empoleon. It would have done about 35 to 40% or so if he's not especially defensive, which I don't think he is. Although I guess I could calculate. I don't really care to, though. So, but I thought to myself, like, why would I go for Thunderbolt when I perceive that his best switch is to Clodsire? Now, he might think I could have Ice Beam, I guess, for Clodsire. Even still, I think Clodsire switches in pretty well. So, that's probably the guy I would have went to, and it would have forced some progress because you can get your spikes up. And I guess Empoleon is about the same because it's going to get its rocks up against me, and I'm going to switch out. So I get this special attack drop, which is super unfortunate because he's competitive, and now his Surf can do a lot of damage. So I'm going to go to Whiscash, predicting maybe a Flash Cannon. He goes for rocks instead. I've got quite a bit of HP and quite a bit of special defense. So I'm just going to Earthquake into him to get my damage. 69 is pretty nice. He's going to Flip Turn. He could have Surfed, assuming he had it. I do assume that he did have it. That probably would have done more damage. However, if you see this, my Whiscash with its minus speed nature, but little bit of speed here is actually faster than his Empoleon. This tells me he's probably running a Smogon set, the sassy one, I think. The one that has the minus speed nature. So in fact, this 4 points of speed that I put onto my Whiscash here from being a minus speed nature literally broke this speed tie, which I think is super funny. I did it exclusively for Roaring Moon, exclusively for the min speed Roaring Moon, but it just happened to work out here, so I think that's hilarious. So even if he did go for Surf, I assume it wouldn't kill, and then I would threaten to kill with Earthquake. Then he could go to Talonflame there, but that's risking like a 50-50 on my Surf. Instead, he's going to go to Clodsire here, and I'm thinking to myself, why would you go to Clodsire when your defense stat is really bad? You just saw the damage that I did with Earthquake on Empoleon. I'm just going to get my crazy damage here. So I Earthquake and I do a solid 54. And then he Trailblazes and does 50%, which is insane. I think it's more insane that he didn't kill with it. This tells me he's probably not running a lot of attack investment, because I don't have any defense EVs, just 80 EVs into HP. I just don't know what to say about this Clodsire. Maybe an insane tech. I guess I don't know how I feel about it though, because Trailblaze, yes, it hits well into Whiscash, but Whiscash is like a 2-point hazard stacking Pokemon on my team. Yeah, I brought it a lot against people last league, but granted, we didn't do a point buy, we just did it by tiers. So, yeah, he might know that I like to use Whiscash, but like bringing a tech like that for a relatively low power Pokemon is maybe not the best thing, because if I didn't bring it, what are you going to Trailblaze against? Terrakion? And then your speed is just so slow. I don't see what a speed boost is going to get you. In fact, if I wasn't running the speed that I was on Whiscash, I would have just stayed into Earthquake, assuming he didn't have any special speed investment. But because even like an uninvested Clodsire would have enough speed to outspeed the particular Whiscash I had, I just switch. In theory, this could have been a really bad switch, because if he went for Gunk Shot, that would have done a lot to my Hydrapple. I probably could have gone to Jirachi or to Terapagos. Terapagos would probably be the best mid-ground play, but I just had a feeling that he might try to Trailblaze again, or that he would try to Earthquake, so Hydrapple was who I went to. It worked out for me. He switches out. I don't know if he knows that I'm like super duper slow, or if he doesn't have like Gunk Shot to hit me with, but if he did have Gunk Shot, he probably should have clicked it there. I'm going to go for Earth Power. It was my best move into Clodsire, and it hit Empoleon. It would have killed Empoleon. It would have done a decent amount of chip to Goodra, not a ton, but some. And if he went to Talonflame, I have either Whiscash to sack or Terapagos to switch into, so it was a low drawback play for me. He goes for Growth. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that play. What if I like Fickle Beamed and got the 30% proc to kill you off there? I don't know. This is maybe suggesting to me he might not have had Sludge Bomb to hit my Hydrapple, which would have been super unfortunate. But anyway, I'm faster than Venusaur. I'm going to kill. And he goes to Talonflame. Now I'm going to go to Terapagos. So what I'm thinking here is probably the most consistent and best play is to just go into Whiscash and sack it, so that I can have tons of momentum, bring in whatever Pokemon I want. However, looking at his team and looking at my team, I think it's possible for me to get a 6-0, and because differential is a tiebreaker in this league, I'm going to try to play for it. Plus, going to Terapagos, I have the opportunity to spin these rocks away. Now, he's very graciously defogs them away from me, so I don't have to go for Rapid Spin and risk getting burned on Flame Body, which is nice. He's going to Flame Charge to get some extra speed. I don't know necessarily what that would be for. Maybe if I was running Rock Polish. Maybe if I was running Scarf Terrakion. I don't know. Um, but I'm just going to Terra Starstorm, get my damage. He's going to get a crit on me with Flare Blitz, not kill himself. So I can get my Terra Starstorm crit or kill, which is good because if he killed himself on recoil, they would have argued that that's not a kill for Terapagos and my stats would be not as nice as they should be. So thank you for not having enough damage to kill yourself, Talonflame. He goes straight to Clodsire. I'm just going to Scorching Sands it. It's probably going to get the 2-hit KO. That does quite a bit more than I was expecting, so I was thinking he might not be specially defensive. And also from that Earthquake taking so little, I figured he was probably max defense. But it seemed like he had some special defense. Now that I'm thinking about it, he probably was Assault Vest, which is a very strange Clodsire set. You would think you would want Spikes and Recover, because those are great utility moves, but nevertheless, I get my Scorching Sands burn here. Takes absolutely nothing from Earthquake. Probably didn't matter that much because Terapagos is still fairly healthy, and I'm going to get a Rapid Spin here to make sure that I'm faster than Gudra. Not Gudra, sorry, than Empoleon if he's running, I don't know what he might be running. If he was running max speed, he probably could have been faster. I think I only hit 227. In any case, Gudra was faster because of its Scarf. I'm going to hard switch to Jirachi. I know he can't lock himself to any one move to win the game, and I figured that he wouldn't lock himself into Earthquake, and he didn't. So he's going to Ice Beam and get the freeze! Oh my gosh, is he going to come through? Is he going to beat me here? Is he going to? Absolutely not. On turn 23, the GOAT number, Polaris Froz and gets the kill with Metal Coat boosted Iron Head. So that's sick. I don't know if you guys can see this here. Actually, let me bring it over. He said he goobed. He thought he put Sunny Day on Talonflame. So I guess he was trying to set Manual Sun. Interesting. Not necessarily bad. Venusaur likes it. Slitherwing likes it. However, if he did have Sunny Day on Talonflame and everything played out basically the same until Talonflame came in, I just killed one of your Sun Sweepers. You'd think you'd be a little more protective of it, since it potentially could win you the game, but maybe he realized, oh, as soon as the battle started, he did not have Sunny Day on his Talonflame. So maybe he was like, this thing's not as strong as it needs to be. Although I don't necessarily, if that is the thought process, I don't necessarily subscribe to that because, or endorse that because Slitherwing is one of your best win cons here. It's got first impression, and it can like force things like Hydrapple or weakened Pokemon out because of it. U-turn can get you some momentum. CC is probably one of your best moves to hit Terapagos, for example. So you kind of need that Pokemon, and losing it turn 1 really, really hampered his ability to apply offensive pressure against me. That's the thing about a balanced sort of defensive team like mine. Like, look at these. Look at this T here of Lurna, Myra, Polaris, Terapagos. Did I forget to name my Terapagos? No, I didn't. It's Capella. In any case, that's a pretty solid defensive core, but if you apply some offensive pressure and start punching holes into this, it can be really difficult for me to switch around like I did, and keep all of my Pokemon in like good health to smash. Like, I didn't even really have like recovery moves like Wish per se. I did have Moonlight on Clefable, but you could have worn me down, and especially with a Pokemon like the biggest bug, Slitherwing, that maybe could have came into effect. Now, I think the biggest problem here is that this team is too slow to really apply effective offensive pressure, because as soon as one of your offensive pressure mons come in, even if I have to sack, Terrakion is going to force it out because it's way faster and is threatening a kill. So yeah, maybe not the greatest. I don't know if he lost on Team Builder. I don't know if he lost on the draft board. Um, he made okay plays. There were a couple that were maybe not the best, little inaccurate plays, but especially probably the biggest mistake was the turn one losing Slitherwing. But even still, I don't think I would have lost this game. Um, and I'm glad that I picked up a 6-0, a 6-0 to start the year. Happy New Year's, everybody. We'll be back maybe towards the end of the week once all the games are played to review them, do a little watch along, maybe have a little bit of an adult beverage, and start talking crap. That's going to be exciting. Take care, everybody, and once again, Happy New Year.